Hello and welcome to the Of Mouse and Men podcast. As always, I'm Kevin.
I'm Angelo.
And I hope everyone is staying healthy out there with these
Yeah.
crazy times we're in. And hope you're all quarantined. We are certainly quarantined, but we're making the most of our quarantining by doing the podcast.
Yeah, trying to get some content out.
Yeah, how we stay sane in these trying times. So, roughly before the world went crazy, Angelo, a ride opened up at Disney's Hollywood Studios called Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Are you familiar?
Yes, I did. Yes, I actually surprisingly am. I've heard about it.
Yes, and so that ride opening marks the end of this beautiful change that Hollywood Studios has gone through from its caterpillar stage to a beautiful butterfly of its new era. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Whether it is a butterfly now, or if it's worse than a caterpillar.
Still an ugly caterpillar.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it, Angelo.
Yeah. So basically, as you may or may not know, in Walt Disney World, every few years they rotate which parks they're working on. Yeah. So, for example, Magic Kingdom got a new Fantasyland. Epcot
Beautiful.
is being built right now. We'll see what happens with that. Animal Kingdom got Pandora. So Hollywood Studios.
The world of Avatar.
Yeah. So Hollywood Studios was Toy Story Land, along with Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
And there's all changes throughout the parks too when they do this. It's not just the new lands. But yeah, so we're basically going to talk about what we think of modern Hollywood Studios compared to classic Hollywood Studios. Yeah, anything else, Kevin, before we dive into it?
Not much else. Not much before we dive into it. Let's just get into it. Old Hollywood Studios, Angelo. Were you a fan?
I was. I liked the old studio aesthetic. So they had the trolley or the backlot tour.
Yes, they did.
Right, where you would go through that, and it felt like much more of it was they actually did film stuff there for a bit, but it felt a lot more just like a cohesive theme, I thought, of being this Hollywood backlot that there are rides on and shows at. And I felt that between that side of the park with all that stuff, along with Sunset Boulevard and that whole Hollywood era type thing with the shops and the stores and everything, I thought it was a really cohesive, great, I loved old Hollywood Studios. I was a big fan.
Yeah. I was a huge fan. I still am a huge fan of Hollywood Studios. I just like the atmosphere of it. It's very similar to Universal Studios, and it gets a lot of flack for that because it's the studio setup. It's going on the backlot tour, going through how movies are made, right? And it gets a lot of flack for that. But I actually love the feeling of being in Hollywood Studios because it actually feels like you're in old Hollywood. I feel like I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and it's just the prime age of Hollywood, just the cast of characters that are out.
No, yeah,
it's really lively there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we kind of have lost some of that, to be honest with you.
I agree in the fact that we've lost it elsewhere in the park. I think it's still very lively on is it Main Street? What is that street called? Does it have a name?
I don't know what you'd call it. Just the main walk.
The main street and then Hollywood Boulevard. I think you still have that energy there, but once you leave that area of the park, it's definitely a significant change.
Yeah. It's not the same.
And I miss the backlot tour. That was
great. And they had that. You remember that show where they would pick people from the audience and you'd be a part of the movie? My mom was pitched for one of those.
They had some of that stuff at Universal too, but they've also gotten rid of that stuff at Universal as well, which is interesting.
Have they? I haven't been in a while.
Yeah, they've started to go on Universal. The look of Universal has kind of gone into where Hollywood Studios has gone towards, where this idea of not celebrating films as much as being in the films and being immersed in them. And I miss the celebration of film part of
Totally.
Hollywood studios. I guess what I miss the most, going from like this new era that they've tried to take it in, is this just celebration of film. Because you have the Great Movie Ride. You love the Great Movie Ride. I know.
It's so good.
R.I.P.
Let's talk about the Great Movie Ride, Kevin.
But it's just that ride. It's like everything, as me being someone who loves film and I've always been interested in like how films are made. Just being on that ride, that's everything I love about film in a ride.
No, yeah, Great Movie Ride was great. Along with, so you have like the narrator, right? It gives you a kind of like Jungle Cruise-esque, like,
Yes, it's the film buff's Jungle Cruise,
right? And just
but it's great
being in all those movies and everything it's amazing, and it tied the whole land together, or the whole park together. Sorry.
Yeah,
and I feel like now that that's Mickey and Minnie's, like I understand like the importance of Mickey and Minnie's in that, like it's like it makes sense to be there in a way, but I think you do lose a lot by taking away the Great Movie Ride.
And I agree with you. I think the Great Movie Ride was the symbol of what the park represented, right? Celebrating film. And now, when that went away, I think that's when Hollywood Studios really was like visionless. Because we've been saying for a while that Hollywood Studios is just, it's who's ever's game. It's just a hodgepodge of all these crazy things.
It's Star Wars park.
For a while there, I think it kind of still is, but for a while there it was really Star Wars. Like in their in-between phase, it was Star Wars Park. Like full on.
Which is weird to
and it
say
still
when
is.
Star Wars Land wasn't open.
Right.
But
And I think since Star Wars Land has opened, they've pushed Galaxy's Edge. They've pushed Star Wars back a little bit into Galaxy's Edge.
no, yeah. They definitely have. I mean, just we'll talk about like in between when everything was closed and they were building Toy Story and Star Wars, they didn't have much, so they introduced like the Star Wars Night Show, which is an amazing show. Like on the Chinese theater, watch that. It's great. They did the one where all the characters walk out and pose, which is kind of lame, but whatever.
That show where they all walk out.
I know you hate
it.
Right?
I thought it was worse than the stupid hat they put out in front of the Great Movie Ride. Yeah, it was worse than that. I felt it was annoying. Ever so often they had an explosion go off, and it literally scared everybody within the park, and everyone would scream at the same time because it was unnecessary. It was I felt it was unnecessary because most of the characters, they came on, they did their thing, you watched them do their thing, and then they left, and I was like, okay. That was an hour of my life, or however long it is I can't get back.
Yeah, and then you have Star Wars Launch Bay, of course, and that had the 3 meet and greets, which were Kylo Ren, Chewie, and BB-8.
Do you like the Launch Bay? I think the Launch Bay is kind of cool.
I like the Launch Bay a lot, and you see they have the movie props and everything.
Yeah, because like in this time of like it's a park that's celebrating film. Like you go in and you can see all these cool props from the movies.
Yeah, that's the most Hollywood Studios part.
Yes, it really feels like it reminds me of One Man's Dream, but Star Wars. And I loved it. I loved it. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. Though I don't go in there very often.
Yeah,
it's fun.
No, yeah, I like Launch Bay, but it definitely kind of took over Hollywood Studios. But Mickey and Minnie's, Kevin, let's talk about that because you've ridden it.
Yes.
You like the ride.
I really like the ride.
I haven't ridden
I have my people up here, Mickey and Minnie. I got the mystery pack. You have to like feel around for the wishable mystery packs, which annoys me, but I find someone to help me, and we get through it together. But basically, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a dark ride similar to Winnie the Pooh on something like Alice in Wonderland and Disneyland, and it's just you go in and there's so much happening. It's crazy how much is happening. It's a dark ride, but there's like stuff going on behind you.
Yeah, you said the effects and stuff are really impressive. Which I'm excited to see. It is impressive effects.
Because it's very much a bunch of screens, and that's whatever. A lot of theme parks are going towards screens now, which.
But I mean, if they utilize them well, you did say there's some
They utilize them
animatronics.
well, but it's still kind of it's still like this would be a little bit better if it was more there is a lot of practical, like the Mickey Minnie animatronics and the character animatronics I think are pretty cool because they're a mix of screens and like physical animatronic. That's pretty cool. I liked it. And it's just a really cute ride. I think a lot of people went into it expecting Rise of Resistance, and it's not Rise of Resistance. It's Mickey and Minnie going on.
Is it a great movie ride though?
It's not the great movie ride. I think if you go in being like, this is the great movie ride, you're going to be disappointed. Because great movie ride you can't match. Because you had real actors, real experiences in the great movie ride. Oh, the great movie ride. What a great ride.
I love the great movie. Oh, it's so... It was such a perfect thing.
I still remember when we got the cowboy. As a kid going on it. And you had like the cowboy come and like steal your... car. I remember being like, this is crazy.
Dude, what a good ride. Oh my god. And the alien part was scary. And
oh, the alien part. That was almost like extraterrestrial alien encounter.
I think they should have updated Great Movie Ride, right? Throw in like Star Wars, throw in like Avengers.
I think that would have been an interesting, instead of doing Mickey and Minnie's, updating it to make it more with Disney's IPs.
Yeah.
I think that would have been an interesting choice. But then I feel like people would have been like, it's just a celebration of every movie Disney's made, and it's not really a celebration of film, which I can understand.
Yeah, I mean, they could have kept some stuff, right? Like, keep Casablanca, Wizard of Oz in there.
Was their deal with MGM... I feel like their deal with MGM was expiring, though, right? Is that why they... Was that a reason?
I
can't verify that too much, but I do kind of recall something like that.
I know they tried to get Turner Classic Movies to sponsor it in the last 2 years, which they did. So it seems like they were looking for like something.
Okay.
Like you could tell it was on its way out, kind of.
Yeah.
Because in 2017 they kind of messed it up. They put like an audio narration on it.
Yeah. But Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway,
that kind of
right? Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, if we look at it, it really represents the new vision of the park, which is why I think I like it replacing, because they've clearly changed their vision of what they want the park to be, right? Unfortunately, yes. So in going in that new vision, I think Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is the ride, like the Great Movie Ride represented their previous vision. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway represents their current vision for the park. And I think it does a great job at representing that vision. You start out in a theater, in the Chinese theater, similar to how it was for the Great Movie Ride. And it was just basically the same thing. And you go into a theater, there's an explosion in the Mickey Mouse cartoon, and you actually get to walk through the screen into the 2D world, which is just... I thought that was so cool, and I feel that's what the park is now, living the movies. And for little kids to go inside Mickey Mouse cartoons, I feel like I would be so psyched as a little kid.
Yeah. But it is kind of a little kid's ride. Like you said, it's not a ride.
It's a family-friendly ride, yes.
Yeah. It's not a Rise of the Resistance. Like, there's nothing crazy that's going to happen. But that's all right. I think
it's very random.
Works.
Yeah, it's very random. There's not really a story to it, which I think is another complaint I've heard, is that, like, it's just actual chaos, which it is. It's just complete chaos. But I feel like, you know when a kid is, like, telling you a story, and they're like, and then this happened, and then this, and then they went in a rocket ship, and then an explosion? Yeah. That's kind of what I felt like the ride was. It was just a kid just rambling about this story that just is completely chaotic. And hey, it's nuts. Daisy has a dance number, like, in the middle of the ride for no reason at all. The ride vehicle starts dancing with Daisy. It's chaos, but I loved it. I thought it was a lovable chaos.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to ride it, but we'll see. I'm very apprehensive.
You are very apprehensive, I guess. And I think if Great Movie Ride just closed and they opened this up, like, it's been a few years, so I've had time to, like, cope. Like, understanding the Great Movie Ride is gone.
Right.
And I think it's a very fun ride. I enjoy it a lot. I will go on it many times. Yeah. So another thing they added, Angelo, in the new era is Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy.
Yes, the one update to Sunset Boulevard. Unfortunately.
Or as what we like to call it, Lightning McQueen FaceTimes his friends. And just, I don't know, talk about nonsense. That's what that show is. It's actual nonsense. The animatronic is cool, but you go to Cars Land and that animatronic is everywhere. The Cars animatronics. So, what's the real value of it? I don't know. But I guess it's fun for kids. It's an air-conditioned room, so you want to throw your kids in there.
I just think it's like, so they added it in the transition, but like, it feels like such like a half try, you know?
I think it's a half try. It's a try that's just them. They're trying to add more to the park because I feel like they felt so much was going to be happening on the side of Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge that Sunset Boulevard needed something to drive traffic, and they didn't want to devote a lot of money to it. So what was something they could throw together quickly, and that's what this is.
Right.
For something that was thrown together quickly, I was actually surprised if it's called like, wow, there's actually an animatronic here. Like they clearly put some effort into it. But it's just, you have a limited space, so what's he going to do? I guess he has to FaceTime everybody. It's just, whatever.
It's snuck right behind Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, and if you don't know it's there, like, they have so many signs being like, it's right here, because
Please
who knows
come.
it's there? And they have, like, a little dance party outside of it. Whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yes. And then another addition was Toy Story Land.
Yeah, so
which is cute.
It's fine, right? I know we both feel similar about Toy Story Land. It's one street.
That's the problem I feel with it. It's just a path.
Yeah, it's literally a straight line. You have, it feels like it's almost like it was like their first attempt. And they're like, all right, here's this, here's that, we're good. I don't know, Slinky Dog Dash is a great ride. Swirling Saucers is good.
Slinky Dog Dash. Swirling Saucers is good. That's like the generic
obviously
Disney ride
Toy
now.
Story Mania is amazing.
I love Toy Story Mania. What a good ride.
But like, what are you supposed to do? Like, I don't know. There's one fast or quick service place, and it's like, it's cool. It's cute. I think they need more. I think the expansion they're planning is a good thing. Like with
the restaurant, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, and I think they should add some shops around it or something like that. Because you just need.
I feel like
stuff.
they need a shop. You're right, because they have.
It's a Toy Story Land.
Like toys, right?
Sell the toys. And they have. I think they have like carts, right? But they don't have. Like,
they have those carts, yeah.
But like, get like
which
an
are
actual.
Cute.
Make Al's Toy Barn.
Playmobil things.
Remember, that's what everybody wanted was Al's Toy Barn.
Oh my gosh! And that wasn't that planned too.
It might have been.
They need to put an Al's Toy Barn because that. The original sketch, they had this like western area in the beginning by Woody that was really cool, but again, cutbacks.
Did
they always have cutbacks? Yeah, and like the concept art, but they always have cutbacks. And they had cutbacks here, which were kind of disappointing.
That's a shame.
And I believe wasn't Al's Toy Barn in the concept art?
I'm looking at the concept art right now.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely looks like a more. Like, there's definitely more going on in this concept art. Like, there's cool little paths that just don't exist in the current version.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not seeing.
I think it's a very cute
Barn.
land. Okay,
I do see the western area. Oh wait, no, there is an Al's Toy Barn. My bad. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it is cute. Like, the land itself, I think, is really cute. You have, like, the characters and everything's, like, toy size. I think it's very cute. I like the theming of the land itself. But I think it needs more room. It doesn't feel like a land. It feels like area part of the park.
I agree.
Toy Story Path. And the problem is you had Toy Story Mania, the building was there, so they had to build it on the other side of Toy Story Mania. When if they didn't have Toy Story Mania there, they could have just taken out the Pixar area, and it would have felt bigger.
Yeah, but I don't know. Kevin, this concept art really has me confused of how this ended up.
Like, the way it is?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, look up this concept art. This is insane. I'll put it on the screen. But it looks... Maybe I'm exaggerating. But it looks a lot cooler.
It looks a lot bigger. You have... it looks like you have so much more room.
There's little paths between, like, Slinky Dog
and you had this whole thing of Woody riding Bullseye in the with that western area. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, right? And
the Slinky Dog Dash looks so much bigger.
Yes, I mean, Slinky Dog Dash just looks more like it's like all around the land. There's more. There definitely were budget cuts or something. This is crazy.
It was definitely cut back a little bit, which I think is a problem. Like, to be honest, the potential of this land, I think, was so much better than what we've got. Like, what we have is cute, and I love the theming. But it's a path.
No, yeah.
And we've said that so many times, but it is.
Yeah.
Especially at night, I think the lighting at night with like those Christmas lights is really cool.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff you could do, and I feel like whatever happened didn't work itself out.
And a thing that they added that I hate is Municipburg.
I don't think it's that big an issue.
I think I think it looks like the cheapest little overlay I've ever seen in my life.
It is weird.
It
is weird.
It's just a meet and greet. I would have much rather you kept that like Pixar Animation Studios, and maybe like that's your entrance to Toy Story Land, is like going through Pixar Animation Studios. Like, I don't know. But I would have much rather you kept it. Or do something like Star Wars Launch Bay, where you can go, like, they have a bunch of, like, things from the movies.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. There's hopefully a future expansion expands it.
But I feel like, yeah, if you add in an Incredibles ride, but you don't have any room to do that, so...
Right.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Kevin, you know what land mostly lived up to concept art?
Could it be the land that you love so much?
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, yes.
Whoa, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, also known as Batuu, also known as whatever it is, Star Wars Land.
Yeah, the one issue with Batuu when it comes to concept art is there's no aliens or droids running around.
Exactly. That's my biggest flaw with it, is it needs more aliens.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But other than that, I love the land. I went recently, 2 weeks before all this stuff happened and it closed. I loved it. I thought it was the coolest thing. I could spend hours there just hanging out. I got... let me grab my lightsaber to show everyone real quick.
Yeah, show everybody. Show that off, Angelo.
Here, Kevin. What are you... Kevin, keep talking. I gotta grab the blade.
Okay, while Angelo's grabbing his blade, I'm going to talk about the value of this lightsaber. He paid $200 for this, ladies and gentlemen. And did he waste his money? That's subjective.
I did not waste my money. I did not waste my money. It is worth it.
My brother got a lightsaber too, and it's pretty cool. I held it. Would I pay $200 for it? No.
You're also not as into Star Wars as I am.
I'm a very casual Star Wars fan. Like, I'm not watching the Clone Wars right now.
I am. So this is my saber. Kevin can't see it right now, but there you go. I went with the Peace and Justice build.
Beautiful.
There you go. I picked a blue Kyber crystal for my building experience, but I also bought another purple one. I love it. You can hear the sounds. It's amazing. Yeah, I am really happy with the lightsabers. I also went and tried out a bunch of the legacy ones, or the character sabers.
Very cool.
And played around with those. Those were really cool. Definitely, probably better quality than the build ones, but you're getting different things, right? If you're doing the build one, you're choosing to like build your own, and then the character ones are obviously replicas. Also got the stand here, as you see, beautiful. But yeah, I like would walk around like because I had also the clip, right? Because I walked around with the lightsaber, right? Because like everyone's walking around with the lightsaber. There was a lightsaber meetup when I was there, and it's like it's the most Star Wars nerdiest thing I've done, right? But you gotta, right? You're in Star Wars land. But it was really cool, the land. I thought that, especially when I interacted with people, like I'd ask like, "Oh, what creature is that?" or "What is this?" And one time I was in like the First Order area, and I actually asked about the Stormtrooper armor. I asked if anybody had like bought it before, and the girl was like, "Oh, there's been a few, and they actually like make it to your size." And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." No, yeah, I thought that was really. I didn't know how in depth it was, but
wow.
She said that, and then she saw my lightsaber, and we were in the First Order area, so she was like, "I don't need to call anyone for this, do I?" And I was like, "No, well, I'm good, I'm just collecting." And that was fun. And then, dude, the photographers in Galaxy's Edge, amazing. Like, insane. Like, they know exactly what's
Are they the best?
I think so.
I mean, I'm sure they're trained to Galaxy's Edge, right?
No, yeah, they're like they like know the poses to do. Like I run my brother after we got our lightsabers, and they're like, "All right, do these poses, do this one," and they made it so like the light of the lightsaber like illuminates like half your face. It's like crazy, and they're so cool. Good at it. But yeah, that's amazing. We met Chewbacca. We were standing at a rail looking over at the Millennium Falcon. He appeared behind us. He surprised us.
I think it's so cool how the characters are just walking around.
It's the best. It's the best.
They don't do that as often as they usually used to do at the Disney parks. And I think it's so cool that like Rey just like runs up behind me and she's on a mission. And I'm like, oh, look at Rey go.
100%.
I find that so cool.
I agree.
And Kylo Ren just walking by.
I didn't see enough of Kylo. We saw him like one time.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I saw him more.
When I was there for like my weekend cram before the coronavirus closed, I was in Galaxy's Edge just to hit up the spots I was going to because I'd already been to it. And so I was like, for sure I'm not going to see any of the characters. But I met Kylo Ren. I passed Kylo Ren like 3 times.
Really?
He always scares me though. He's a boss when he comes out. Very intimidating.
No, yeah, it's so cool. He's tall. He is very intimidating.
So yeah, how did you feel about Oga's Cantina? How was that?
Oh, it was cool. It was really, the drinks are like super unique. Obviously, not 21, so couldn't have any of the alcoholic stuff, unfortunately. But one day we'll go and try all of those.
One day.
But yeah, all the stuff was good that I tried.
Oga's Cantina is my favorite part of Galaxy's Edge. I love it.
It's it's really aesthetic. I thought that the blue and green milk was a little disappointing, but I'd still have it again.
That's what I get. That's like my regular now when I go. Is the blue milk.
I like the carbon freeze a lot at the cantina.
The carbon freeze is good. I got the carbon freeze last time I went. I feel like it's something that's so distinct to Galaxy's Edge too. Like other lands might have like a restaurant, but it's like pretty generic, like as a restaurant can be. But Galaxy's Edge, like Oga's Cantina is something so unique to Galaxy's Edge that I feel like it's what makes it for me such a great experience.
I agree 100%. I also went to Docking Bay 7, which is amazing just with all the scenery and you're in like crates and eating on like
I love
wings.
The crates. I think that's so cool. Like sometimes you have to bring like they have like just the chairs, but they're like crates over in the corner. They have to go grab.
Yeah, it's also
well themed.
Free water in they
do.
Docking Bay 7. But yeah, I tried the smoked Kadoo pork ribs. Amazing. Fried tipia amazing. I also tried the Ronto Roasters like snack bag, and that was pretty cool. I liked some stuff better than others.
What's in that?
It's like, so they have one. It's like a mix of things, right? They got jerky, which is like the famous Ronto Roasters thing, other than the Ronto wraps. Then you have a bunch of like chips, and like some are like, I don't know the names of all of them. Like they have like actual names, but it's all like crunchy chips and stuff. Like what was the name of it? There was some like that are just like potato chips, right? There were some. It's called the Galma snack platter. It's what I got.
Ooh, okay.
You can kind of
try that. That sounds interesting.
Oh, so there's turkey jerky, which I said plantains, blue potato chips, pork rinds, and rice crackers.
Rice crackers. Interesting. Okay.
No, yeah, I liked it. It was
it
interesting. It felt Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's what you expect, Star Wars land.
Yeah.
It does feel, everything theming-wise feels so Star Wars when you're there. But I think it's just because you have tourists and everybody there, that's what kind of takes away from it, is it's all people and there's no aliens.
Yeah, I do think we have to have more droids and aliens.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they get more droids. There was in their original, we're talking about concept art versus reality here. There was a concept art that the third attraction was supposed to be this thing that you'd ride. Like this giant
Yeah, that was in the
creature.
Imagineering special as well.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. And I think but they don't have the room for that. Something like that.
Yeah, they'd have to
part of the
plan
problem.
it out like more in advance.
Yeah. Like you'd have to have a special route, I think, that people couldn't walk. Like on the side. They did all,
would
so
probably
the
be
guests
some
could
kind of
see
like
it.
people mover thing, right? That would have been so cool. It's like a tour. It's like a jungle cruise of Batuu.
Yes, that would.
I think every ride should
and you
have
could
a
have
jungle
like
cruise.
You could have like a tour guide from Batuu, like taking
Right?
you around. That would be cool. Disney,
Kevin.
hire us.
Oh my god! I mean, they don't have the money to do that now.
Yeah, sorry. Good luck, Disney. Bob Iger saved them. But anyway.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
The rides they do have.
Yes.
Millennium Falcon.
Smuggler's Run is amazing.
I know you really like that. I'm not a biggest fan of Smuggler's Run.
Because you hate video games.
I don't hate video games. I just feel... I don't feel like I'm doing that much to make it like a unique experience every time I'm riding it. That I feel like it's just like I'm playing a video game over and over again.
That's fair. I can understand why some people wouldn't like it.
Last time I went on, it was just me and my brother, and so we were put with another family. And I gotta say, Angelo, changed my whole perception of this ride.
Yeah?
Not really, but like it was so much fun. This is the best I ever had. Sorry, my actual family. You guys suck, JK. But like they were so much fun. This little girl was piloting, and she thought she was actually piloting like an actual ship. So every time she crashed, she got so sad and was like, "I'm sorry."
Oh,
like
no.
she literally thought she was killing her family. Like it was sad, but like hilarious at the same time. Was not good at the ride. Sorry if you're listening, little girl. Don't want to be mean, but was not good at the ride. But we just made it such a great experience. And then the ride shut down at the end. And so they have, what's his name? What's the guy's? Hondo come out and be like, "So, how was your day?" And it's like, because he's just like buying time. I thought that was a nice detail they added to it.
No, yeah, that's cool when they do stuff like that.
And we were just sitting there. The girl was scared. Since I was bored, because we were there for like 10 minutes, I started like flicking the buttons and stuff. And this girl like looked at me. She's like, "Stop." Okay. I was like, "Okay, you're the captain. I get it. You're the captain now."
That's great.
I won't touch anything. But I felt it was a lot of fun. So I think it is based on who you get put with, too.
No, yeah, like I was put with a family. It was a son and a mother, I assume. But so they got on. They were the pilots, and They were so bad, and it kind of ruined the experience. Which it's interesting that a ride like is able to be ruined from other people. You know what I mean?
And I think that is a flaw of the idea of like having it so user interactive.
Yeah, but and like at the end of the ride, this mom comes off and it's like, I don't think that I was actually doing anything, and I was almost like, yes, you were. It was very much on you, but
I feel like, to be honest though, I feel like you don't do much. Like as a pilot,
I feel like you do though, because
I feel like
if you hit into everything, Kevin,
that is
if
true.
you hit into everything, it's like
into
every
stuff.
3 seconds. Like you're like, come on.
That's true. That is true.
Maybe you're
right?
just such
But
a great pilot that you don't notice that you're saving the shit.
No, because I feel like I'm terrible. Because they're like, get in the corner, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I feel like if you're gonna be someone who's a pilot, just being up or down, I want more of the power of going every direction. I don't know.
Damn, you want it to be even more of a video game.
More of a video game. But I feel like, especially if you're... I guess that's true. It's more fun. I think that might be why it was more fun with the girl who was crashing. Is because the movements of us crashing, I felt was a lot more fun than like if I'm flying or someone... And we're not really crashing that much. And it's just like...
a smooth ride.
When you do the ride, don't crash the ship. I don't think it's as much fun.
That's funny.
And I feel like because Star Tours, I'm moving all over the place. So I don't know.
I think they gotta make an X-wing ride that's kind of like Flight of Passage, but you're in your own like thing.
That would be
insane. And it's a video game though, and you're like going around, and it's literally just an open map, right? And it's
that's
just
what Avengers, I think, kind of might be like. The Avengers right in California.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that, Kevin.
I don't know. That's a little ambitious. You're right.
Listen. I have PlayStation VR, right? And there's this Battlefront mission where you're in an X-wing cockpit. Just do that and add motions to it, Disney, and we're in, right?
Yeah, and then you have, when you were there, because I made this complaint last time I was at Galaxy's Edge, that there were people in front of Millennium Falcon because they were in front of the ride, right, in the line.
Yeah.
Did you see that problem?
That happened like at the very beginning of the day, but that was it. Like because
because that weekend I was there was a little bit of empty because everyone was leaving because of the coronavirus. But that wasn't a problem last time I was there. So I was like, oh, it seems like when there's not that much demand, it's better, right?
Yeah, I just saw it in the mornings, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Rise of Resistance. Angela.
Amazing ride. What a good ride.
It's the experience alone of the pre-show.
The pre-show
phenomenal.
Was the greatest ride I've ever been on.
I think this might be a hot take, but I think the pre-show to the ride, I think is more fun than the actual ride.
I might agree with that.
It's so immersive, and it's just something you've never seen before. Like the doors open, and then you have cast members like, come on, we got to get on here. Or like, whoa.
No, yeah.
I think
my
it's
issue
really
is
immersive.
It depends on the cast members sometimes.
I fully agree with that.
So mine broke down, so I went on it like twice in one day, and like one time they were like, let's go, and the other time they're like, all right, let's go. I was like, oh,
right, exactly. I was on the first time I was on, right? They were like so passionate, like, let's go. And I was like, holy dang. I think my mother has a video where I turn around once we go in, and I look at her, I was like, holy shoot, like mid-video. Because it was crazy. Because they're like, come on. And the second time I rode, they're like, okay, let's go. And I was like, okay.
No, yeah, it definitely
depends
on who you're
I fully agree with that. But it's a lot of fun, the ride. And I kind of hate having to get there early in the morning so I can make sure that I get on the ride. But
yeah,
that shouldn't be too much longer. I don't know how the virtual queue.
Yeah, the one last thing though, and I know you had this experience too, is that people like to touch buttons in Galaxy's Edge because everything is pressable, right? But on Rise of Resistance, there are some buttons you should not press, as Kevin found out.
So we were in the I think I told this. Did I tell the story last week? I think too that we were in the room where like before you get into the interrogation area, and these teenagers were just like pressing buttons, and the guy broke character and was like, he's like, first of all, I thought he was joking because he's like, don't look at me, turn around. So he had the kid turn around and stare at the wall, which is weird. But then he started like legit yelling at him and saying like, you're gonna shut down this ride, because the kid started laughing. And he's like, this isn't a joke. And I was like, oh dang.
Yeah, something similar.
I'm already on alert.
Right? Something similar happened with me where with a Satan character, they're like, do you want to mess up their interrogation and your own? And I was like, oh, she must have pressed like a legit button.
Right.
Because the lady said like, these buttons are not okay or whatever. And I was like, ooh.
But to be honest, that you shouldn't have those buttons out. Like, Tower of Terror has that button at Hollywood Studios where it's literally in a case and they open it up every time.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So it should be in, like, something should be over it or something so the cast member picks it up and presses the button. The button shouldn't just be out.
No, 100%.
But again, don't be pressing buttons, guys. But I can understand where I'm, like, I was on Millennium Falcon flicking buttons because I was like, what do these do? Maybe I shut down the ride.
That girl was mad at you, dude.
She was, because there's also, when the ride gets shut down, they have like this excuse that there's like this creature loose, the one that Han Solo battled in Force Awakens, on the ship, and this girl legit thought something was loose on the ship, and the dad was like, no, it's not real, and the girl was like, what? She was so scared. She thought this thing was coming to kill us.
How old was she?
8, 7. I'm not good at ballparking ages. Don't quote me on that.
That's funny.
She was young. And then one of the people that was on was her like grandmother. And this woman, I don't think she realized like she was on a like technology.
What?
She was in front of me and her buttons were going off to shoot. And she's like, I'm pressing it, nothing's happening. And I was like, you're shooting. Do you not notice we're firing? But
wow. Amazing.
I loved this family. I wanted to go up to them after and be like, you guys are great. But I was running to another ride, so. But yeah. So overall, Galaxy's Edge I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah. But we know the real reason why Hollywood Studios is the best park, right?
Are you going to talk about the food?
Yes. The sci-fi drive-in restaurant. I go there
Angelo loves
almost
the food at
every
Hollywood
time.
Studios.
It's so good. Then Mama Melrose,
The sci-fi
so
is
good.
great.
It's
Although
such a good.
you have to get a reservation to have a good seat there.
The prime time, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
The prime time.
Angelo, there's an interesting difference because Angelo always stays on resort and stuff, and he's like always doing the food at the parks, which I like. Sometimes I usually at each park pick one place to eat each day, and I have one meal at the park because I stay off.
That's usually a quick service, which is just smarter, like money wise.
I usually do quick service, but it depends. Like Magic, because I like to sit down and have like that break in the middle of the day. So like Magic Kingdom, I always do, if I get a reservation, Be Our Guest. Because I love, Be Our Guest is my favorite, because I love to actually, it's like a quick service, but it's like a sit down, I get to refill my drink. Love it.
Have you been to
Be Our Guest,
the
never
prime
changed.
time diner?
I think when I was younger, but not like in recent years.
Oh, we gotta go, dude.
I haven't eaten anywhere at Hollywood Studios recently since and that's like Pizza Rizzo's because my brother loves Pizza Rizzo's.
I don't know why he loves Pizza Rizzo's so much. It's like fine.
Yeah, he loves Pizza Rizzo's, so we go to Pizza Rizzo's all the time. So I hate Pizza Rizzo's. This cheap little pizza I get, a little salad. I'm like, what is this? I'd much rather go to like Galaxy's Edge food is kind of expensive for what you get.
Yeah. But Star Wars.
Not at the Oga's Cantina. Oh my god, Angelo. I love Oga's Cantina.
It's good.
I get my blue milk and there's a cookie on top of it.
Yeah, your DJ Rex chilling out.
DJ Rex just jamming it up.
Oh yeah.
The last time I was there, this woman next to my brother and me literally got a little tipsy at the park. Like she was treating it like it was a bar. I mean, it is, but she was then in her intoxication, she was like starting conversation with us, And like you could tell she wasn't like all there. I was like, is someone gonna help her out?
That's funny.
She's like, woo, Disney. I was like,
yeah. So
yeah.
I mean,
So
that's
Galaxy's
all I
Edge.
have to say about Hollywood Studios, really.
I mean, so yeah. So the new Hollywood Studios, living your adventure. I like this idea. I think you were going in this new vision of living your adventure. I love that idea. It's sad that we lose like the celebration of film, but I think there is a way of balancing that. So you have the stuff that celebrates film and living the adventure. Like I think Indiana Jones Stunt Show is a perfect like combination of that.
Yeah, I think the park, like the ideology of it is very split right now between these two things of like old Hollywood with Sunset Boulevard and like ultra immersive like lands.
Yes.
And Rip the Streets of
think,
America, that was great. It's just not as cohesive
during Christmas time, Angelo.
Yeah, during Christmas time they do hot chocolate and
yeah,
like a
Streets
light
of America
show.
was like nothing during the day during any other time.
That's true. But like it feels like the park isn't as cohesive as it once was.
I agree. It doesn't feel like it has that singular vision anymore. And I love that they're accepting this new vision that they're trying, because it's similar to what they're doing with Epcot. Is they have a new vision for Epcot and they're changing a lot of stuff. But here, I don't think you changed enough for that new vision. Like you have to structurally change your park for your new vision.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that. Galaxy's Edge is expensive, and doing all this is expensive, and you don't need to invest that much money in it. So I think that's where it is. So I think it's still. So is Galaxy's Edge having an identity crisis?
Or Hollywood Studios, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry. Yes, Hollywood Studios. What is it? Galaxy's Edge? No. I mean, it too, because it has humans on a space planet. But Hollywood Studios is having this identity crisis. I think it... but I think Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as the signature attraction signifies not the end of the identity crisis, but that this is their new direction.
Yeah. Definitely. And we'll have to see in the next few years how it evolves. But until then, we have Epcot to worry about.
Oh, Epcot. Hopefully you make it through.
Yeah,
Good luck.
You might not be making it, Epcot.
So yeah, let's move on to what's going on today
in the world,
of Disney.
A lot has happened.
We're going to try not to get too much into like coronavirus, but it's what's happening, guys. Deal with the news. But basically, Soul moved to November 20th, and it took Raya and the Last Dragon's release date. So Raya and the Last Dragon, which was Disney's movie that was supposed to come out this year, that was an animated movie. We haven't gotten anything from it except for concept art. Moved to March 12th, which is a pretty good release date for that. Onward, Onward did that date the March date this year. So now Raya goes there. And Soul moves to November. Good luck, Soul. I think you have a lot of competition. You have Black Widow and Bond.
I mean, everything's gonna be in competition this fall, right?
Yeah. Because I think you have, especially Black Widow comes out, I believe, earlier the month, like November 6th.
Dude, this fall and next spring, there's no, like, dead movie season. Like, things are coming out. January is, like, a blockbuster month, I bet.
January, because January is always dead, but I wonder if, because of the virus, you're going to have...
Oh, totally.
Because this fall and winter is going to be stacked with films.
I agree.
But that's something that's interesting, is if... Depending on how long this goes for, Angelo, these films are pushed. Are we going to start to see, even because Mulan is set for this summer, and so let's say they don't do movies this summer, right? The coronavirus goes, and closing, social distancing goes through the summer, right? Mulan's going to have to move again. And are we going to start to see actual studios be forced to go digital now, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because you can't just, I think at some point they can't push it anymore. Like you have contracts, like the stars have contracts to be in theaters, you have contracts with the theaters, yeah?
Tell that to New Mutants.
New Mutants. What's interesting about New Mutants, Angelo, is I actually read an article, and because Trolls came out on digital, and there's mixed reports of how Trolls this weekend, and it's mixed reports on how Trolls did. Some people are saying because you can't really crunch the numbers because there's no way to get those numbers. But some people are saying, oh, it did really great. Some people are like, it didn't do so well. So it's really hard to see how that did. But I'm thinking New Mutants might go to digital. But the problem with that is I think I read this article that Fox has a deal with HBO.
For New Mutants?
So like for their Fox movies. So Disney, like, for some reason they can't put them on Disney Plus like within a certain window. I don't know. I didn't look down much into it, but I read an article like that. Which is interesting.
Interesting. I wonder how true that is.
But yeah, so are they going to be forced to do digital releases? I don't know. As they get pushed back, it's going to be interesting to see what the movie season looks like going forward.
No, yeah, I'm super curious.
And when they start opening movie theaters back up, I think. Maybe not for a while. I don't know.
There was an article that I saw that said concerts might not come back till like fall 2021.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the parks too, because like these huge gatherings.
Yeah, and that actually
We're
gets
not
us
gonna see
into
that.
our next story, right? What the California governor said.
Oh yeah, so recently the California governor, basically, I think it was in a press conference, Tuesday, which was yesterday. He made a statement saying that it was unlikely that they would they would have mass social gatherings until August. So that means the entire summer reopening of Disneyland may not happen.
Yeah.
That's big. Because summer is when I think that's the parks when they get visited.
Yeah.
And just to like have that removed, you're talking about losing so much money.
No, yeah.
And I think at that point, right, Disney is going to have to figure out, in other Universal, how they can have their theme parks in a world where we have social distancing and all these restrictions. Is there a way to run a theme park with these restrictions? It's hard, because you could say virtual queues, but then you're going to have everyone in the park and not on lines.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're just going to have to wait it out until this is over. Possibly until there's a vaccine.
Right, but the thing is, how long can these companies afford to wait?
I think the government will help them out.
I think yes, but at what point...
It's still going to hurt, obviously, but like I don't think Disney's going to go out of business.
I think at what point can they... I don't think Disney's going to go out of business at all. They just today, I think yesterday or something, took out... they're getting all these loans. Disney's going to be fine. But the problem is that at what point can not just Disney theme parks, but movie theaters and these companies actually stay in business where the government can't bail them out anymore? I think we're going to reach, probably not within the next few months, but if it goes longer, like if it goes till 2021, at what point can these companies, is it going to really hurt them like badly?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the next like at least 5 years, these companies are going to be severely affected in terms of like, I don't think Disney's going to try and buy anything anytime soon. I think
Disney's going to sell.
There's already been there's
already talks that they're going to downsize because.
But there's already been stories about how I think some movies might not get made now because like they're riskier, or because like just studios can't afford to like spend as much.
That's true.
Like there's going to be a lot less risks in like all companies, not just like movies or theme parks.
And I wonder, Angelo, if you see Disney, because of the way Disney's been hit, if you see them when they downsize and they restructure the company post this event, if you see them go more trying to spread their company into in ways of people at home, so like maybe going into video games or something like that, because like the video game industry hasn't been affected as much as other industries. And I wonder if you see them trying to shape the company toward that more.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Disney Plus, you can see that too.
Exactly, they're going towards streaming. I wonder if you're going to start to see them, because I don't believe Disney owns any video games or any companies with video games.
Yeah,
they just license out, right? And
they've licensed out Star Wars to EA. I think they might have some in-house stuff for like mobile games, but as far as like big video games, there's nothing really in the Disney space right now since they got Lucas Arts too.
I feel like they might go towards that. I feel like that you could probably see them going in the event that there is something that happens like this. The company has a way of getting revenue,
diversify their revenue streams.
Yeah, I think you're going to definitely see Disney diversify their revenue towards not as much in-person entertainment.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is
because like this is like a once in a century event, right? So
exactly.
So it's like, is it worth it to even do that too? Like, is that going to pay off in the long run?
The thing is, I think the companies need to be prepared, right? Because
ideally all companies should be prepared for like a loss.
Now, when people invest in companies and when you look at a company, people are going to be like, okay, because the coronavirus happened and you had this affect so many companies like this. Are we going to now in the future, people are going to be more like, okay, if this ever happens, is our company equipped to handle that? I think you're going to have a lot of people trying to structure their company because of the coronavirus in a way that, so if you have an event where people are going to get locked in their homes, how do we stay relevant?
Yeah. What I think is interesting, though, is there are some things that are able to be done at home. Like you mentioned video games, a lot of that development, like you can obviously, like if you're like going to a studio, you're going to get like a lot more like resources. But even like at home, if like whoever you're working for is like bring your computer or whatever home and work from home, like stuff like games, stuff like animation, like we're seeing that Olaf short being animated.
I think it's interesting. You may see animation start to have more of a, like it's kind of having a rise, but more because it's more reliable.
Yeah, because like you can work from home for that, right?
So I wonder if you're going to see that. Yeah, people leaning into this idea, into animation, things you could, and structuring production. Maybe you'll see films start to structure their production so that in the event that something like this happens, you can work from home.
Yeah, I think for example, the new Suicide Squad movie, I think James Gunn said on Twitter that
editing,
yeah, he said that they were able to, since they were like ahead of schedule, and apparently Warner Bros was like very proactive about it. They've like been able to like shift editing to like people like doing it at home and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a lot of movies that have shot are still in production, right? Because people are saying, I see a lot of people being like, well, you can delay these movies as much as it takes because you're going to have such a backlog, but you still have movies that are currently have been shot and they're in production, so they still have release dates. So you don't really have, you don't really have a backlog that much. I believe the Batman didn't finish shooting, right?
No, it didn't. I think they said like 25% was shot.
And then so like the Batman, I think you might see Suicide Squad and Batman switch because Suicide Squad is done, but it's scheduled to come out after the Batman.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting these next few years because we're going to see consequences for years from this, and just like the aftermath. It's interesting. We'll be looking at it very closely because things are going to change.
Yeah. And also recently there was an article that the New York Times put out about Bob Iger taking the CEO responsibilities back from Bob Chapek.
Yeah.
Bob Chapek. And what's interesting about it is he hasn't officially, I see a lot of headlines that says Bob Iger takes the CEO position back. He hasn't actually taken the position back, right? He's doing the responsibilities, obviously, because for the shareholders, they want someone. So the company, they want to be reassured in the company, and so Bob Iger is a face that they know and that they can put trust into. So I see that's why he's taking back a lot of the CEO responsibilities. Um,
Yeah, so he's not
which is
officially
interesting.
CEO, but he's doing some stuff, and I think it's just smart because like nothing against Bob Chapek, but it's kind of just like we're going through a crisis right now. It's probably not the best idea
Exactly.
to transition into that.
Hmm.
So I think if Bob Iger can kind of like pull them through this, then we'll see. I think it's just a smart thing to do. Bob Iger's been talking a lot to like the press about like things regarding like
Because I
Disney's
think
future.
because the Disney isn't. I don't want to say that Disney's not like. I don't. Disney's not going to go out of business. Disney's going to get through this, but it is in trouble, right? Like the article said that it's Disney's fighting for its life, right? And I think that's true. Is that Disney has to is fighting to stay alive, right? And so Bob Iger literally is fighting to keep this company afloat.
Yeah, not that they're going to go out of business, but just in terms of like making money, right?
Because they recently, I think it was either this article or another article from the New York Times that said they were building 3 cruise ships too. They invested a lot of money into building new cruise ships.
No.
That those won't be in demand for a while. So now it's like they were in such a period of rapid growth, and now that growth is halted, and they need to shrink. So you'll see that in the future.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, just what everything happens. But apart
I
from
think
that, we don't really know much.
And that's a lot of it's kind of speculation now is what's the company gonna do because they don't necessarily they're it's such a moving target of when this thing's gonna be back to normal that they don't know what they're gonna do, so they have to try to figure out how to get around this. Um, and there's this Bob Iger was talking, and he's saying the parks are going to be changed, right? No more, there might not be fireworks shows or parades, and that they might start taking people's temperatures.
I think this is also like very optimistic thinking. I don't think Disney's going to open back up until this is gone. I think he's saying that to try and try and make it sound better than it is. Like, oh, we could open up and like be doing this. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's just trying to like give hope or something.
Because
like
taking
that.
people's temperatures is more of like making people feel reassured. Like it's not going to do that much.
Yeah.
As far as the stopping the spread of the virus, right? It's just so when you're in the park, you know what that person had a good temperature next to you. Like it, I think this is all stuff of. I don't realistically think that they're going to be able to open up.
But just to reassure people once they do, you mean?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But I think, and that's the thing, once they do open everything, are they going to actually take people's temperatures? I don't know.
I guess we'll find out when we're in line.
Right? Oh, gosh. So, yeah, it's very unknown. Another headline that I saw was the Robin Hood live-action movies in the works at Disney+, which is very interesting. I feel like, it's because they said it's going to be in the same vein as Jungle Book and Lion King.
Has there ever been a successful Robin Hood movie?
No, I feel like Disney's Robin Hood has a cult following, though.
Yeah, the anime.
Though it's not their most popular movie.
But, like, has there ever been a successful live-action Robin Hood? Is he going to be a fox in the Robin Hood movie on Disney+?
Oh, what?
Is he going to be a fox on the live-action Robin Hood movie?
So it's going to be the fox. It's in the vein of the Lion King and Jungle Book. Where they're
how is it going to be? Yeah, but they look photorealistic and he's shooting a bow and arrow.
Right? That's what I'm thinking. I feel like Robin Hood is not the same vein as those two.
Yeah. This is like weird.
They're people animals. Also, it's the director of Blind Spotting.
Really?
Yes. Which is, I think, is an interesting choice for the director. Like, that's what gets me curious about the project.
I am so interested in this movie now. Oh my god.
But how are you doing this? Is it going to be a fox running around?
Why are they doing live action Robin
the poor?
Why are they doing Robin Hood when they could be doing a much better live action remake, Kevin?
What? What are you going to say?
Wreck-It Ralph.
What? What?
Wreck-It Ralph.
What do you mean Wreck-It Ralph?
What do you mean? Wreck-It Ralph, live action movie.
I don't think that needs a live action movie.
No, for real though, make a I know you'll like this, a Tangled live action movie. I don't know why that. Are they doing that? Is that announced?
They did announce Rapunzel as the live action movie.
So do that. Do.
But I don't know if it's Tangled. It might be I don't know what they're doing with that.
Do Frozen. Right? Why isn't there a Frozen? Just do everything else live action. Why do we need Robin? It doesn't make any sense.
I think you want to wait because Frozen very much is popular in its animated form right now.
So wait like 50 years.
Decreases in popularity, yeah. But
that's fair.
Like Tangled, I don't know how you do it without without Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi because they are the characters.
Well,
I feel
like Zachary Levi could pass, right?
What do you mean could pass? He's supposed to be like 22 or whatever. What is Flynn, like 24?
I feel like they can make him look like Flint.
And then how old is Rapunzel supposed to be? 16. You're gonna have Zachary Levi interacting with a 16-year-old.
Dude, they can make Zachary Levi look young. Didn't you see Shazam?
Or is she 18? Rapunzel's 18, right? It's her 18th birthday.
That's a good joke.
What joke did you make?
I said, haven't you seen Shazam? They can make Zachary Levi look young.
Angela, you're so funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's 18. What am I thinking? 16.
Zachary Levi is only 39. He doesn't look that old.
Angelo, he's gonna be talking to an
if he
18-year-old girl.
If he shaved, you wouldn't. Kevin, they probably cast like a 30-year-old girl. Anyway.
Angelo, Disney cannot get away with that. Are you joking?
Look at him in the Thor movie.
I don't care what he looks like. His age is what matters, Angelo.
Okay, who would you have play
Rapunzel's?
Who would you have play Flint Rider? Who would you have play Flint Rider?
I don't know. Zachary Levi.
Timothy Chalamet, because he plays everything.
No, not Timothy Chalamet. Get out of here with that. Someone suggested Jennifer Lawrence for Rapunzel. I was like, if you want Rapunzel to just be monotone and boring the whole time, Jesus.
Listen, you know, real talk. So I'm seeing one where it's Tom Holland as Flynn Rider. I don't like this meme where we cast Tom Holland and Timothy Chalamet as every male part. Like, can we not do that?
Because I don't know who would play those characters. We've gotten to a weird Rapunzel tangent. Well, I guess, Angelo, to be honest, it's because we feel like Rapunzel, because we're quarantined.
Yes, I've been singing this song every day. Read a book or two.
I read it when I wake up, and I'm like, 7 a.m.? Get up out of bed?
Real talk, you know who should play Rapunzel?
Who?
Hang on, I have to find a good joke.
I think Anna Taylor-Joy would be a good Rapunzel.
Who's that? I'm terrible with names.
From The Witch and Split and Emma.
I think she would too. She looks like she could be a Rapunzel.
She looks at her. I think she has that like quirky personality. I think she could do it. But she can take it in her own way. My thing is, if you're gonna do it, don't try to do the original Tangled. Try to do your own thing.
But keep the songs because they're good.
Yes. I was watching a video, I think it was Honest Trailers, where they're like, there's no Tangled songs are not memorable at all. And I was like, lies.
It's almost because the movie's like half not actually a musical.
But aren't all of Disney movies kind of like that? Like,
no!
Forgets it's a musical halfway
No! Are you kidding? No, they don't. No, it doesn't.
Yes, Angelo, get out of here with your nonsense.
No, it wasn't. Oh my god, they've had Elsa and Anna on Once Upon a Time?
Yes. It was weird.
Anna actually looks like
really weird.
Pretty much like how I think Anna would look.
Oh, because she's quirky.
Stop, Kevin. Elsa looks
podcast
weird,
has gone
Elsa looks
nonsense
weird,
right now.
Cast Emma Stone for Anna. Just because I like Emma Stone.
Angelo, you and your quirky girls. Okay.
We're off the rails. Listen, all I said was one time that I think Anna is a good character, okay? And it's turned into something more than I could ever expect. Okay? Anna is possibly one of the best characters in Frozen.
Really? No, she's not. Get out of
She-
here.
who is better?
Character in Dude, Elsa.
Elsa is such a
Get out of here.
I hate Elsa.
Elsa's the
Elsa's
only character.
terrible. Elsa's terrible. I don't like
God.
Elsa. Get out of here with that nonsense.
The good thing about Frozen 2 is they made Anna a character I could actually.
No, she wasn't even good in Frozen 2.
Oh my god, they actually made her a respectable person in Frozen 2.
I want that's it. Just because I think like I'm gonna get bullied for this, not quirky. Get out of here. We're ending the podcast, Kevin.
Okay, we're ending this podcast in anger. In conclusion, Hollywood Studios. What it is, okay?
It is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you so much for listening to the Of Mouse and Men podcast. As always, check out our YouTube.
Rate us on podcast services. I never say that.
Yeah.
Please, if you've come this far, please give us a rating.
Listen to our boy.
Please, we can use it. Go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and give us 5 stars. Give us a review. Tell us how funny you think we are.
Okay, yes, and go to our YouTube if you're listening on podcasts. Subscribe. We have
like,
videos,
favorite, share, everything.
We have videos and clips that go up there. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Check out our Instagram. We're the Mouse and Men podcast on Instagram. We also have a Twitter, Mouse and Men Pod.
Yes.
Check us out there. In conclusion, goodbye. Thank you for listening. This has been a wild one.
My name is
went bonkers
Angelo.
at the end.
My name is
Kevin. Stop saying things. Guys, this is so chaotic.
Thank you so much for watching. And as always,
until next time. So long, everybody.
So long, everybody.
Let's get out of here. What is happening? This is bonkers.
Ba-dum-bum.